Hello again, children. Well, it would always help if I started having a universal way of doing my worksheets. So, today we're going to talk about verbs. Again, I want to do nouns and verbs this week because then we can start talking about subjects and predicates. Because again, how do we know to identify the main parts of the four sentences of a declarative, interrogative, imperative, exclamatory sentence? How are we able to diagram them and figure out all the parts of speech and know subjects and predicates if we don't know what makes up a subject and what makes up a predicate? So that's why we need to, again, review nouns and verbs. So, previously on the Tyke Shornack channel, you did this noun worksheet that I created. Again, you highlighted it, and there were 46 nouns. This one's a little easier. There's only 5 verbs in each. What we're going to do is you're going to highlight action verbs, you're going to highlight linking verbs or be verbs, and you're going to highlight verb phrases. And then next week, we'll go into subjects and predicates. So, again, we know action verbs are verbs, again, that can be physical. And just like nouns, there can be concrete and there can be abstract verbs. Again, we take the word love. The word love is an abstract noun, like my love of the Denver Broncos gets tested when they lose games like they did last night. Spoiler alert. You can't see that love. You can't feel that love. You can't taste that love. You can't smell that love. You can't hear that love. But something personifies that love. That's what you get. Same thing when it comes to action verbs. I could say, I love bacon. Now, that could be an action verb, but again, it's still abstract because you can't see that I love bacon. I'm not going up to the altar with it and marrying bacon, but like if you got into my freezer and you saw the frozen bacon that I have in there, that would denote that I love bacon. That's an abstract action verb, like love and hate. A concrete action verb is like, I hit my brother when he reset my Xbox game. You can literally see, hear, feel a hit, a punch, a kick. So those are concrete action verbs. So let's do number 1 together. Experience tells us the risks of different vehicles. Again, the TLS version, or my versions that I do my examples on. Again, TLS stands for my initials, Tyke Leon Shornack. So experience tells us the risk of different vehicles. Now, we can ask ourselves, what's the nouns in these sentences? Well, we see experience, risk, and vehicles. Then we can ask ourselves, what is the experience doing? It's telling us. So it tells us. So we're going to highlight tells. Then we're going to highlight it green. And so that's what you do there. Remember, there's only 1 point for each of these. There's only 1 point in each one of these first 5 verbs. Now, highlight in purple, I did Incredible Hulk colors. The linking or the be verb, the state of being verb. Again, those are just existence verbs. Am, are, is, was, were, be, been, being, do, does, did. Again, I am recording this video. How do you know I am? Because I can see myself in this corner. Hi, where is it? There I am. You can watch me do this. You can hear me do this. That's how you know I am. You could say, Aaron is my older brother. Aaron was doing his verb assignment. How do I know he was? Because he submitted the assignment for me. Paul doesn't know. I shouldn't say that. That's a helping verb. Paul did his homework. How do I know Paul did it? Paul's my younger brother. Because again, when I go into my submissions, I see that Paul did it. So, the first African American woman was a pilot. Sorry, let's rewind. The first African American pilot was a Texan. So, we can ask ourselves, again, what's our nouns in this sentence? Who's our who, what, when? Shut up, Tyke. Who's our what? Pilot and Texan. Because African American, first, and woman are actually all adjectives going to pilot. We could say, pilot, what about the pilot being a Texan? Just was. How do we know the pilot was? Well, because obviously was is past tense, which means, well, she's probably dead. If she was alive, we would say the first African American pilot is a Texan. We're going to make that purple or violet. So again, there's one verb in each one of these. So 5, 10. Now, in the last one, which again, make sure you are scrolling down all the pages. Do not just go to 3 and decide to not look down. You're going to highlight in yellow the verb phrase. This includes helping verbs and the main verb. Now remember, helping verbs can look a lot like linking verbs as well. They're words like has, had, have, may, might, must, do, does, did, could, should, would, be, been, being, will, would. I think I said has, have, had. If I didn't, I did now. Okay. So combined with the main verb, they make a verb phrase. Verb phrases deal with tenses of verb, like present tense, past tense, future perfect, present perfect, past perfect, future perfect participle, past perfect participle, present perfect participle. I'll teach you that later. It's pretty complicated. We're going to have to go into probably a week of doing that stuff. But, so, if I look at the colonist would build a home as quickly as possible. Again, we can ask ourselves, or what are we talking about? We're talking about colonist. And what else are we talking about? We're talking about home, because that's a noun. As quickly as possible is actually one of those adverb phrases. Now, what are the colonists doing? Build would be our main verb. But how are they building? Or when are they building? Or in what way are they building? They would build. So, what we're going to do is we're going to highlight it. Then we're going to take it and make it yellow. Okay. Again, for this one, I'm going to give you a little help. Number 2, it's 2 words. Number 3, it's 2 words. Next page, number 4. It's 3 words. Someone's going to have to go and fix a spelling error. Let me do this for you. I screwed up. When you get in your worksheet, fix night to might. Whoops. It's might have become, not night have become. So please fix that on your worksheet. What I tell you about looking at your errors today in my Zoom meeting, Google Meet meeting. And number 5 is 3 words. So I gave you number 1 and 4 for verb phrases. Gave you number 1 for be verbs, linking verbs, state of being verbs. I gave you number 1 for action verbs. So everyone should get at least 4 out of 15 on this assignment. Again, if you're not doing this correctly, it's because you're not watching this video that I've created. You're not watching the brain pop. Do those in order. Again, as I go back to my student, If I have something for Tuesday, you should be watching this first because it's up top, then this second. Then if you want to play Jeopardy, awesome. And then when you go to Wednesday, you just have this worksheet. Again, you would know how to do the 4 types of sentences if you watched the 4 types of sentences VMS Shornack. It sounds like the name of a boat. Sorry. Again, so if you've watched this video, you should be doing this correctly. Again, as always, if you have any questions, please message me on Schoolology, and I will get back to you as quickly as possible. Thank you.